Hello Pisces, Elsie here to do a reading for you. It is for the rest of 2025. Pisces, I hope you're well. Thanks for showing up here, my two fishes friends. I've got a couple of tarot decks we're going to be using. We've got the Tarot of Dreams and we've got the Wild Reflections Tarot. We're going to use both of those for the next reading for the next 6 months. I know we're already into July, but we do have the next 6 months. Please remember this is a general reading, Pisces. So not all of it's going to resonate with you. In fact, most of it won't, because this is all predictions. And this is all stuff that hasn't happened yet. So July may resonate, August possibly. Maybe you know that there's something coming up in your life that it may resonate with. But for most of you, this is all going to be new information. You may have to come back and watch a couple times. So I'm going to go through this here. Let's find out what's going on. There will be an extension at the end of this video. I will tell you at the end of this video how to find the extension. And we will talk a little bit about private readings, because there's a sale on right now that began on the 1st. Happy Independence Day for those of you who celebrated. Happy Canada Day if I missed you. And we are going to talk about sales. We've got a bunch of sales going on. All right, let's find out what's going on for you, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. My water family, tell me about the rest of 2025. For Pisces, we have July, we have August, we have September, October, November, and December. The next 3 cards that I put down will be January, February, and March of next year, but it's also going to serve as some sort of information that is the overall sort of advice for the next 6 months. Tell me about this. Tell me about Pisces. We've got the Ace of Swords, we've got the Justice card, and we have the High Priestess. All right. So we are looking at July. We are in July right now as I do this. We are in the first week of July, and Pisces, it looks like the Three of Pentacles is here for you. The overall energy for the next 6 months is the Queen of Pentacles, which is really good energy, because I feel like this next 6 months is going to be a time when you're going to be making promises to yourself to get things in order. And it could be something as small as cleaning out closets or the basement, or giving things to Goodwill possibly to replace them with new things. Maybe you're getting new furniture. Or it could be something like taking care of your health, getting your finances organized. It's solid, steady, sturdy. This is Capricorn energy, pre-Empress energy, whether you're feminine or masculine, because the Queen is feminine leaning, but also has masculine energy. So the Queen of Coins is somebody who's taking care of their health, their wealth, their pentacle world, their families, somebody who's kind of doting, kind, and loving, but is also very strong and sturdy and firm. So I feel like that's sort of the overall energy for the next 6 months. We do have this deck here we're going to use to clarify. The Three of Pentacles, I feel, come for the month of July, for the remainder of July here, is telling me that I think things are going to be level, I think. Level, solid, sturdy. I feel like this is going to be a month of you gaining friends or making new partnerships, finding people that you can trust. I want to say people that you can trust. For some of you, this could be talking about the workplace, possibly finding new groups of people. The Three of Pentacles also talks about friends or friends of friends. It also talks about communities and networks. So let's talk about the Three of Pentacles. Tell me what's coming up in July for Pisces, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about my water family. We've got the Star. It feels like you are going to acquire new friendships. It feels like new friendships, new partnerships, maybe partnerships. I mean, friends of friends. You're going to find things in common with people, common ground, people you feel like you can trust. It feels like with the Star energy here that there is a, you know, like a, maybe y'all are into astrology, maybe you're into doing rituals. You know, it feels like you're going to be finding people that are like-minded, Pisces. We do have the Strength card and we have the Six of Cups. Now, I think there's a little bit of hesitation, I'm going to say, because it feels like here, and I think I talked about this maybe in one of your readings, but it does feel like you just recently sort of had a time in a place where you disconnected from an old friendship group, or that you decided to cut down your friends list, or really just get rid of the acquaintances and really just focus on the friendships. And so I feel like a little bit of this is a little bit of hesitancy I see with the Strength and the Courage. It feels like you're trying to find the courage to face your fear. And the fear is, I feel like whenever you get into a friendship or try to make a bestie out of somebody, like, you know, it's different for men feminine for women, and you might agree or disagree, you can tell me in the comments, but for men, they get friends, they get besties, they hang out together, they do things, and then they don't see each other or talk to each other for a while. They're not like necessarily, not everybody's hanging out on chats, right, group chats and stuff, but for women, it's different. Women, or people in their feminine energies, whether they are men or women, they have to bond. They need to bond. And I feel like this is what you're afraid of. I feel like the star card is telling me that you have a bit of a fear of bonding. So I feel as though the Three of Pentacles is telling me partnerships, because I feel like you still have to face a fear. And the fear is that maybe I'm just going to give too much. Maybe I'll just give them my healing, my kindness, my love, my compassion. And then, they're going to give me nothing. They're not going to give me much of anything. And I think that this is something that has been stuck in your memory bank, or this is what you've been thinking about, or this is past, this is nostalgically what happens for you. That Pisces, that most of you, if you're a Pisces sun or moon for sure, that you're a person who really does a deep dive with people. You're really looking to connect with people on an emotional level, not necessarily just to talk about work or what I do for a living or my car insurance, right? I want to do a deep dive, sun, moon, stars, life, death, all of those things, family, friends. And so I feel like you're a little bit wary or a little bit scared. You're trying to find the courage and the strength to be able to open your eyes and face the fear of, if I go all in again, am I going to get what I'm hoping to get out of it? So I'm looking at the future here, and it says here that I feel like still what's in the mind's eye is this memory, Six of Cups, of you walking away from conversations that were biting or hurtful, or it feels like people weren't giving you as much as you were giving them. You were a person of water and you were dealing in swords. So I feel like there are people who were only surface, people who are not very emotional, people have a hard time doing a deep dive on their feelings. And so I feel like you are meeting new friends and cohorts, but I feel like you are keeping them at the property line, I like to say, where the fence is, right? Like I feel like you're sort of keeping them kind of at a distance, but I feel like you're going to be meeting a lot of new people. So I think that this is going to be tested. I feel like the Strength card is here because your courage is going to be tested in the month of July as you meet these new people. It feels like you are trying to heal from whatever went on in the past, but it also feels like the star is telling me that you are hopeful, that you can face this fear, that whatever has happened in the past can stay in the past. And so I feel like the Three of Pentacles is telling me that you will be meeting new friends, supportive people you can trust, that kind of thing. Let's take a look at August. We've got the Hierophant here. We've got the Lovers. We've got the Knight of Cups. And we've got the Queen of Swords. I think this tells me here, Pisces, that in the month of August, somebody is going to reveal some feelings to you. It feels like someone is going to speak the truth about how they feel about you romantically. The Knight of Cups is slow-moving energy. It's very passive energy. And I feel like there is somebody in your realm, I'm going to say. I don't think this is someone you've dated before, because it feels like this person has been sort of watching you from a distance or coming at you slowly. I feel like this person is about to reveal themselves. You may not know who they are at this time. Someone's about to reveal themselves and reveal that they really do have feelings for you. Some of you may know this person. I mean, it is what it is, right? Some of you, I feel, have your eye on this person, or maybe every time you see them that you have really great conversations, possibly with the Lovers and the Queen of Swords. Possibly you have really great and deep conversations. You can see two people that it's like when you two are in a group of people, maybe you meet this person at a cookout at a friend's house, or every time you go to the social group, this person's there. They've been watching you, and I feel like you two, when you begin to speak to each other, you speak in truth and honesty and really deep dive, and I feel like it's like there's no one else in the room but the two of you, is what it feels like, no matter who's in the room. So I feel like that you are beginning to, that your mind is being open to romance and commitment in the month of August. Now, I don't think that the commitment's going to happen in the month of August, understand, but I feel like it's almost like you're building some sort of a solid structure, figuring out a path. Should we go on that path together? Do we have the same path in mind, kind of? Because I feel like we're talking about spirituality. I feel like there's two people who are very spiritual, very deep. We do have the King of Cups here, the Knight of Cups, and then we do have the Queen of Swords. Swords. So I feel like we're going to be talking about feelings, talking about emotions, talking about how we feel about getting together. What do we expect in a relationship? So understand this is Queen of Swords energy. I'm just going to be honest and truthful. And I think that you're ready and able to do that, Pisces, because I don't think you care. I don't think you care if this person likes you or not. I don't think you're trying to be anything that you aren't, because that's who the Queen of Swords is. You're like, I'm just going to be honest with you about what my needs, my likes, my dislikes, all of that is. And if you don't like it, that's fine, because I'm staying on my path. I think that you are sturdy and solid. You know who you are. You're staying on your path here. And so I feel like that somebody does show up in the month of August that I feel that you don't understand has been growing and feeling for you, or is excuse me, it's about time that we started talking about what do we expect from relationships, even if you're not going on a date. Do you know what I mean? Maybe we're sitting in a group of people and we're talking about that couple. Oh, look at them. They get along really well. Wouldn't it be nice to have a relationship like that? So it seems like that sort of communication. Tell me why the Seven of Swords is here for September. We have the Chariot, we have the Ace of Swords, and we have the Six of Wands. It feels like what you don't know is what you don't know. And I think that the Seven of Swords isn't necessarily telling me that there is deceit or secrecy going on. Well, maybe a little bit of secrecy, but it feels like somebody's trying to get away with something. And I think that what they're trying to get away with is keeping their feelings under the surface. I feel like this person is here in the month of August to talk to you about your likes and dislikes. Would you ever get married? Would you ever commit to somebody? I feel like somebody has a lot of feelings that they're holding under the surface. Because we can see here on the Lovers card that we are waist deep into water, right? So it feels like this person here is somebody who's sort of up to their shoulders and you're up to your waist, or maybe it's vice versa. And I feel like it's somebody who is bringing this topic up to you because they're holding feelings under the surface. Now they're trying to get a feel on you. I feel like the Seven of Swords is telling me feelings are being held under the surface, Cancer energy. But I feel like this person is trying to get their balance, or maybe you are trying to get your balance in the month of September. It feels like something is about to move really quickly, so it might be a bit of a white knuckle ride in September. Something here is about to move quickly, but please understand that I think it's balance that's coming. I feel like you get yourself into some sort of emotional balance, and it feels like you're about ready to move forward into this conversation. So it feels like you have some clarity or a realization that, oh, that's why that person is asking me those questions. I feel that there might be something there lurking under the surface that I need to get a little bit more clarity on. I feel like you probably might get some attention. I feel like this person is somebody who you see as very attractive, someone who gets a lot of attention, or maybe they see you that way, because the Six of Wands is somebody who's sort of up on that high horse. Everybody can see them. Everybody's paying attention, right? The deers and the elk and all of that. They're paying attention to this person on the white horse. Now, there's a white horse in the midst of a herd of deer or elk or something like that, caribou maybe. Yeah, it feels like it's caribou or probably deer. But it feels like this person sees you as someone who stands out amongst everybody. You're somebody who doesn't look like everybody, who doesn't feel like everybody, who isn't like everybody. You are dare I say, a little bit of a weirdo. I say that with the kindest love and affection. Please understand, because I feel like I'm telling you that you're not like everybody else. You're standing out amongst the crowd, but I think it's because this person is seeing your worth, and it's only because you know your worth. Understand, that's why there is a mirror going on here. When you know your worth, you will attract somebody who sees your worth. When you don't know your worth, you will attract people who do not treat you as though you are worthy. All right, let's talk about October. We've got the Knight of Swords. Tell me why the Knight of Swords is here. Feels like something is blurted out. There's aggressive conversations going on. What is this? We've got the Nine of Cups, which was on the bottom of the deck. We've got the Empress energy. And we have the Page of Swords. This is where you learn about something. I feel like you realize, now I feel like you know that you're the Queen of Coins, the Queen of Pentacles, but I feel like you don't really realize how other people see you until October. It feels like in October that you come to this place of inner happiness. And so when I was saying with the Queen of Swords doesn't really care what you think. The truth doesn't care if you believe the truth or not. The truth is always going to be the truth. And I feel like you come to this place where you've realized that you are different from everybody else, in that you have a lot more wisdom. You have a lot more knowing, you have a lot more wisdom, and not everybody's like that. Believe that. Not everybody is like that. In fact, 80% of people are walking around in the dark, bumping into people, places, and things, not really understanding why they're there, what's the reason, because they refuse to look at it. I feel like you know who you are, you know that you're the Empress, whether you're feminine or masculine Empress, and I feel like this Nine of Cups is telling me that wish fulfillment, you see wish fulfillment in the distance, but understand that I feel like you see someone else who is mirroring the wish fulfillment, because I feel like you're already in the Nine of Cups here. I think by October, you're in this place where you realize that you really didn't need anyone external to you to give you validation, to tell you who you are, because you've realized that even if this person never walked up to you ever at all and gave you validation about what you look like, who you are, really liking your personality and all of that stuff, I feel like you would be the Empress anyway, because I feel like you are someone with deep wisdom, someone who is independent, someone who is, the Queen of Pentacles, the one who's taking care of their health, taking care of their wealth. Wealth doesn't have to mean you have $1 million, understand. It just means that you're getting your bills paid, you're doing it all by yourself. And I feel like it's this person sees you as the Queen of Swords, sees you as very smart. And I think that you realize in this moment, it's like, in this moment, you realize this Empress energy is here, that you truly are the Empress, and that you have become or learn to become the Empress through a lot of the strife that went on back here. The Knight of Swords is here with the Page of Swords. I feel like you're going to learn something. It feels like you might be dealing with a Gemini, because we got the Queen of Swords, who is Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We have Gemini here and Gemini here, and more swords here, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So it feels to me like you are going to be having a conversation with someone in October, and this person is someone who's been observing you from a distance. They've been watching you quietly from a distance, and I feel like also you've been watching them. It feels like this Page of Swords is sort of duality, and the Knight of Swords is telling me this is the duality. It feels like you're learning about the duality of Gemini, or the duality of, things that are very, very bright and light can turn dark really quickly, or vice versa. It feels like there is something that you're learning here about your happiness, and that it isn't anything external. No matter what goes on outside of you, Pisces, you are going to be in the Nine of Cups, because the Nine of Cups is something that you achieve alone. You do it on your own. So regardless of whether this person comes forward or not, you've realized that you're just happy anyway. I do feel with the Knight of Swords here that there is going to be an aggressive conversation, and it feels like somebody here has made a decision. The Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords is here. They've made a decision about you, and so I feel like, this could be a friend, this could be a family member, this could be someone completely different than who we're talking about, but it could be the same. We've got Libra and Taurus here, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, again, Gemini, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Leo. More Leo energy, Aquarius again. We've got Gemini here again. Look, I feel like you're really dealing either with someone who's really smart and has a lot of witty banter, or they are somebody who is, in fact, having a Gemini placement. Tell me what's going on in November with this Magician, because I think in the Magician energy, it feels like you have this realization, or you're learning about how to use your tools as the Empress, when you realize, I've always had the magic. I've always had the aces up my sleeve. I've always had the ability to open and close things for whatever I want. Whatever I want to do, I can open new cycles, I can close old cycles. It feels like you have this realization that the Magician is here. Tell me about the Magician, please. We have the Emperor, we have the Ten of Cups, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. Look, I have been sort of reading this about, I feel like there's a lot of other things going on, but what keeps coming up is you are about to meet somebody special in the next 6 months. I feel like you meet them possibly in August, and then maybe you don't see them so much in September, that maybe it's sort of off and on with communication, because the Chariot is here. It feels like quick communications maybe coming through phone calls or texts, but we're not really texting each other back and forth a lot. And then it feels like this Knight of Swords is when everything the gates open and all the communication starts coming. So we have the Magician. And so I feel like somebody reveals themselves to you, that this person is not just anybody, that they are somebody who is in fact the Emperor. And that's why they have their eye on the Empress. Because this person is somebody who also has all the tools, also has stability and security, but you may not know how big their feelings are because they are someone who is a master at keeping things under control. They are the person who is the master of throwing up all of the smoke screens, the illusion. They're giving you the illusion of, I don't need anybody, I'm a confirmed bachelor or a bachelorette, I don't really need anybody around me, I've really got a busy life, I'm doing things, but honestly, I really do feel that this is what you've got them thinking about. You've got them thinking about, what would it be like with Pisces? We've got the Ten of Cups here, and we've got the Emperor. And the Emperor is the person who is trying to keep everything under control. But I feel like they are starting to begin to think about the future because the Wheel of Fortune is here. What if I changed my mind? What if I used one of these aces and decided that it was time to move forward with someone to change everything in my destiny? I feel like the Emperor is here looking for their destiny, looking for a destined connection, looking for who the person is they're going to be with for the last leg of the race. It feels like this is forever and ever. It feels like the destiny is here, so is change and expansion, and this person's looking to either expand their family or bring someone in who has their own kids. We've got this masculine standing here. The feminine is standing here with the children. So I feel like maybe you could have some kids and this person's thinking about, what if we all sort of amalgamated into one home? It feels like somebody here is about to make a move, but they're being very careful with how they let you see them. The Magician is here, which is telling me that somebody is like, it's like they're behind the curtain and you see all the spectacular stuff, but they're not letting you see really what they're thinking about in terms of you. It feels like this person's life is about to change or has changed a lot, or they're ready to change. And it's destined, happy, it is expansion. It feels like it's time for us to turn the wheel forward. We've got the Eight of Swords in December, which is very interesting. Tell me about the Eight of Swords. We have the Five of Cups. We have the Eight of Swords on the Eight of Swords. Universe says, I said what I said. So look, I feel like somebody is going to tell you how they feel about you in October, or they're going to let on pretty heavily without really exposing themselves. They already have a plan in their head, Pisces, about what they want, who they want, how they want things to turn out, the expansion. I really do believe that this person wants to travel, or they want to build a house in the mountains, or now you've got them thinking about all of the beautiful things that happen within the Ten of Cups, all of the things that would make them emotionally happy. They are no longer thinking about doing those things themselves. They are thinking about doing those things with you, but they are keeping those things hidden. They've got all the aces up their sleeve. This person is probably quite wealthy, probably is somebody who is an entrepreneur, or a vice president, a president, a CFO, a CEO, someone who's quite successful in their life. They are a person of influence. So I feel like this person reveals themselves to you it feels like this person has sort of been playing around the peripheral here, but they kind of reveal themselves to you as the Emperor in the month of November. So I feel like you've known them since possibly August, but I feel like you are building this slowly, right? You're building it slowly, and we are moving slowly. I feel like this person reveals themselves to you as an Emperor, and then you know that you've met your match, and because they've had a chance to observe you from a distance, so they know that you are their match. But we do have the Eight of Swords here. I feel like this person might reveal to you in October or November that they are really interested in settling down with one person, because the Emperor never goes in unless they think they're going to win. So this person has been doing a lot of observing around the outside. It does feel like this Five of Cups here is your energy. The Five of Cups, the Eight of Swords on the Eight of Swords, and the Hermit energy. I feel like in December, you're not sure what to do. Because look, you finally, in October, you've realized that you really don't that you're really happy on your own, right? You're happy on your own, doing your own thing. And look, if you're not the person who can survive, if you're a person who cannot survive without a +1, maybe this reading isn't yours. But I'm talking about somebody here who in October realizes that life is quite settled. I'm happy with my career. I'm happy with life. I'm doing well. I'm just really, really at peace. Like, it feels like you're really at peace and you're ready for a new cycle. And I think that the universe, because, you know, the Empress is always in connection with the universe, I think that the universe is here saying, you know, it is, it's time for you to sort of make a decision. Are you going to birth a new cycle or are you not? I feel like the Wheel of Fortune shows up to change everything. And I feel like it puts you into this place in December where you're really in this hermit energy in the 8 of Swords. Am I really willing to give up my independence? Because once you get into a relationship, you know, there is still independence, but now you have to compromise, right? You have to compromise, you have to do things together, make decisions together. And this is an independent person. This is someone who is not necessarily ready to share their independence with somebody else. So we are looking at you here in the Hermit energy. I think that you go into meditation or prayer because I feel like the 8 of Swords is telling me that you're stuck in your head thinking over and over again, am I making the wrong decision? Because look, there's a lot of stuff back here, right? You've been hurt before. And so I feel like the 5 of Cups is showing up as, I'm going to regret it if I don't take this chance, but I feel like I'm stuck in my mind here. We've got 3 swords in the quiver. Right? We've got 3 arrows in the quiver. And so the 3 swords is a broken heart. Am I going to end up with a broken heart? Or am I going to regret not coming out of my head, not getting out of my head and figuring out what it is that I want from here? All right. So we are going to go in and we're going to talk about this. So we're going to talk about what's going to go on January, February, March. We're going to talk about the advice here, because I feel like this is also advice for the next 6 months as we go into the new year. We are going to talk about what you can't see, what you don't know. Things are not as they seem. I feel like you are going on old programming. And I think that it's kicking up the dust. It's bringing things to the surface that are putting you in this place that you've put yourself in the mind. You're trapped in the mind. So that's why you go into this Hermit energy. We're going to talk about all of this in the extended. If you'd like to come to the extended, please look in the pinned comment. The membership link is there. Also, anything you need to know about private readings, if you take that link, there also is a code, a 10% off code if you want a pre-recorded reading. If you want between 5 and 75% off a live reading, you can do that as well. Please hit the link for Hypsee, and all of that information will be there, and we can talk live if you'd like to do that. So I'm going to go into the extended. If you'd like to come there and watch, that would be lovely. And if this is where we part, that's okay too, because I'm going to be back, because I'm always back, Pisces, you know that. Love you guys. I'm going to go for now and see you in the extended. Love you guys. Bye.